It's time now to review headlines of today's newspapers, and we go straight to the first paper here with us, and then, of course, it's This Day on Saturday, with the lead story, IBB on corruption, with the fact on ground now, my government is saint, and with the two riders, wants next president to be versed in economics, able to talk to the people, says military overstrained in war against terrorists. I think, Femi, this basically, comes from the exclusive interview.
Yes, it does.
With IBB, the former head of state and president of Nigeria, basically saying that, from this, the angle of this story, when he was asked about the question on corruption, basically saying, well, the facts are there. I think he even made reference to the fact that he removed the governor, for misappropriating an amount that was less than 400,000 naira as at that time in the early 1990s. But then when you look at what's happening now, billions, are the figures that we are hearing in naira, in dollars, etc. So he's saying basically that the facts are there for people to compare. But of course, this is a direct message to the people in authority to say that, check out one of the three major planks that you use in campaigning anti-corruption, and how far have we succeeded in winning, that battle. Still in This Day, on the window there, 82 Yauri students spend day 52 with bandits in forest. Anguished parents lament kids continuing stay in jungle. This is about, what is happening in Kebbi State, 52 days counting, 82 students are still in captivity. What's going on? Who is responsible? Nobody seems to be saying this sort of a thing that Nigerians want to hear, which of course speaks to the insecurity that is pervasive in the land. Wema Bank mulls merger or acquisition to raise 40 billion naira through rights issue. That's about the survival of Wema Bank. Which direction will it go? Merger or acquisition. And then last but not the least, from This Day, Army Chief were set to take battle to terrorist enclave, says operations now reinvigorated, optimistic about positive results soon. That's the Nigerian Army Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, trying to again reiterate the readiness of the army to take the battle directly, to the enclaves of the terrorists. On face value, that's a good thing to do, but then let's see results and let's see that, things are being done to tackle the terrorists and wipe them off, really.
Absolutely. Okay. And also, if top-tier journalism wasn't enough to get you to pick up a copy of This Day, there's also a special
special publication.
Pull-out. Yes, a special publication pull-out celebrating the 60th birthday of Nigeria's, the governor of Nigeria's central bank, Godwin Emefiele, who turns 60 this week. And the pull-out shows a life of service in pictures. It is quite an informative a booklet with lots of well wishes from many people, but also it gives an in-depth look at his life up until this point, how he started, his level of education, and lots of other details there. So another interesting edition of This Day for you there. Okay. Moving on now, though, to The Guardian. And the picture headline story has a picture of Abubakar Malami. Is that him? That is not him.
Yeah, that's Malami.
Is that him? Almost unrecognizable in the picture. I was like, is that him?
That's him.
Well, there is anxiety over the federal government's delay in unmasking the people who are financing terrorism. We just talked about the 82 students over in Yauri who are still in captivity in Kebbi State. And the two stories are naturally linked. Clearly, there's more money to be had in the financing of terrorism. It's more than just ransoms, clearly. So it's interesting to see what The Guardian has to say. You can read more on that on page 2.
I think it's a brilliant story from The Guardian, given the position of the Honorable Minister for Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, at a time almost 6 months ago, saying almost categorically that the federal government was in custody, of the people who are financing terrorism. And what the Guardian is basically raising here is to say, you told us, several months ago that, you had the key lockdown as to who, was behind this thing. What is delaying you?
Telling us.
Exactly. So that's a key big story there.
Absolutely. Still on the topic of IBB and his exclusive interview with Arise News, Nigerians have tackled IBB over comments on the 2023 poll, and of course on June 12th. That was definitely an animated part of the discussion we had with Shegun Showumi just there. To the top of The Guardian, IPOB's lockdown threat between self-determination and economic strangulation of the Southeast. You can read more on that on page 26. That constitutes The Guardian's Saturday special. And then talking about women in positions of power, Shikan Nigeria has a spotlight on 5 exceptional women doing more. You can also read that on page 15. And finally, the implications of the Oriental Brothers' embrace of the APC. Oriental is a controversial term in itself.
It is, indeed.
So you can read more on the use of that term on page 8. Exactly.
All right. So we'll move quickly to the Saturday Punch. The lead story there, which you will find on page 3, is on the PDP crisis, how Secondus Wike clashed at BOT meeting. And the writers there are quite revealing. Rivers governor boasted he single-handedly sponsored sheriff's removal. I haven't told anyone I'm running for second term. That's from Secondus, the party chair, still feasting on the crisis that seems to be engulfing PDP, which Mr. Showme would rather choose to downplay,
Exactly.
Other stories that you will find on the cover of the Punch today. Insecurity, over 5,000 Kaduna schools remain shut amid military operations, which is on page 10. Kaduna, again, is still locked down, as far as insecurity is concerned. And still on page 8 is Bauchi, Kano, Sokoto lead as cholera kills 653 and infects 27,186. I think this is the sort of story that is important so that we do not get carried away by just one single virus, whereas there are other things killing Nigerians, infecting Nigerians on a daily basis, On the top window corner there, Nigeria experiencing religious genocide under Buhari. That's a report, basically, trying to draw the attention of the government to what looks like a religious genocide. Afenifere kicks as court demands 24 sureties for Igbo's associates bail. The Igbo's people are still in custody. They were paraded. I think a few people, were released, according to the court. But of course, you have to perfect, the bail terms. Now, Afenifere is saying demanding 24 sureties is a way too much, and it might hamper the quick release of Igbo's associates. Southern groups lampoon IBB for defending June 12 annulment. That's stemming from the exclusive interview in Arise. Last but not the least, is something on the Big Brother Naija, which Mr. Showme referred to, that if the youths are going to be consumed by that, why can't they spend more of their time on productive things? But here we have the story about Bibi Naija, death threat comments real, not publicity stunt, says Maria's team. That's on page 16, one of the housemates there in the current edition of the Big Brother Nigeria reality TV show. What paper is next, Femi?
Thank you. Well, we have The Nation on Saturday, and there's no surprises in guessing that IBB is also featuring on there. And again, it is lots of criticism for his comments during that interview where he talked about the June 12th election being annulled to save MKO Abiola. And of course, Afenifere, as you said, had blasted the ex-president for his comments throughout that interview. Bad boy. In inverted commas there, has been fingered as the police launch a manhunt for the Redeemed Church pastor's killers.
I mean, that's a strange one, right? Killing a pastor right, on the pulpit.
Yes.
I wonder who the bad boy is.
Exactly. Many people like to know. Oyetola has declared Monday a public holiday to mark Islamic New Year. You can read more on page 30. I'm not sure if the federal government has also aligned itself with that, but there is that to talk about. And finally, at the top there, we have, of course, discussed IBB and, of course, Prince Uche Secondus, who features on the left of the page there. But at the top there, the Southeast is set to defy IPOB stay-at-home order, Kanu to institute judicial process for consular assistance as his legal battles continue.
All right. Okay, just a quick one before we leave the review of the papers. The lead from Saturday Tribune is also pulled from the Arise interview with IBB. And here it says Nigerians will resist one-party state. That's according to IBB. Says it is silly for federal government to try to gag the press. And then we have another one, 2023. We wouldn't accept another old, sick president. That's according to Northern Youth. Fulani mercenaries carrying out genocidal attacks against us. Leader of Plateau, Irigwe people, is being quoted as saying that. And of course, on school abductions, state government helpless, parents lament, military operations delaying school reopening. That's Kaduna State government. And that can be seen on pages 5 and 6 of the Saturday Tribune. We also have there Makinde, governor of Oyo State, swearing in 7 new commissioners. You know, those are the stories that we have today on Saturday Tribune.
Absolutely. Thank you, Steve.